That's the next, one of the next topics, but I think that's a good idea too. That's great. And we're just gonna write it down, and I'd say, suggesting the same thing. These ideas, just a little paragraph, think it through a little bit, a paragraph, because that's what we're about now. We're not about just doing the NPS, we're about doing other stuff, and we're ready to do it. So, I hate cutting you guys off, but I'm just the taskmaster with the time. Any more questions for Phil? Don't let me lock your lips on it, just, you know, right. Give him a round of applause, everybody. As some of you know, we have started a push for a membership drive. It was explained at SlamMasters that we're not only looking at PSI as being members, poet members, we're looking at audience, organizers, the broad picture, like a public television type thing, that we're a membership organization, and we made some efforts to move forward with that. And Mike and Palmer.
Yeah, well, ASA's report, guess what? I haven't had time to add all of the new members that signed up on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I just haven't done it yet. I'm sorry. I know I should have said.
Let's have a big boo for that.
I'm sorry. I'll put him on the list as soon as I get home.
About how many do we have?
We have,
Just about.
I don't know. I was up until 3:30. Shut up.
I know, I'm not with
Well, is it 100, 200?
We have over 300 members.
you. Yay.
And
How many people have ever been members of this organization?
well, before Tuesday, I can tell you that. Before Tuesday, we had 1,039 overall members. And before Tuesday's registration, 287, I think, had already renewed or become new members. 287 of those have either renewed or become new members in that time. And then we had a huge influx, obviously, with all those students who were like, hey, gotta be a member, you here, don't I? And paid some money, and so I don't know the total.
So somewhere over 300 right now. Our goal that we set for ourselves by next April, 2,000 members. That's our goal. If, as I said before, if everybody just tried to get 10 members from their slam out of the audience, we'd beat it. And that would help so much, not only in income that we need right now, but when Mike goes to funding people and says, hey, we got this 2,000 membership, it's golden, it's the juice. So.
Hey, so I'm Paula Frieda from Seattle, Washington, and the whole EC has set up a new thing for you guys called the Membership Slam, and it's a win-win-win-win-win-win thing because it rewards you in a twofold way. In one way, there's a whole slam that's going to go through every certified and registered venue. That we're going to offer a first place prize for the venue that gets the highest number of memberships that come in. And that prize, first of all, did everyone get a membership slam thing? Did anyone not get one?
There you go.
So there's a first place prize, and then the second way that it rewards you is with a 10% grant back program. So that out of all the revenue that you earn from memberships that you get for PSI from your audiences, you get 10% of that towards essential business of PSI, including nationals registration, memberships, or any other things that PSI normally does for you. Travel and lodging at SlamMasters and travel to and lodging at MPS. Those are things that will go into your account off of the 10% that will grant back to you from the memberships that you draw in. The first place prize for the most number of memberships from any venue is going to be 2 hotel rooms at National Poetry Slam 2003, up to $300 for travel to NPS or SlamMasters, 4 all-event passes to NPS 2003, 4 Slam America CDs, 4 Slam anthologies, a membership trophy. Your venue will be highlighted on poetryslam.com, and you'll get an email address at poetryslam.com. So, I guess before I close, you can email me with any questions that you have. I'm slamsister2001 at Yahoo. And, but I want to really emphasize that this isn't just about revenue, it's about building the community. And a couple of years ago, we came up with a mission statement, and I want to reiterate that mission statement, because what this is about is building people so that they benefit from our mission, and then we're able to benefit from their support. So it's not just the revenue that's coming in for your venue and for PSI, it's not just the 15 bucks. This is what, we're trying to do here. The mission of Poetry Slam Incorporated is to promote the performance and creation of poetry while cultivating literary activities and spoken word events in order to build audience participation, stimulate creativity, awaken minds, foster education, inspire mentoring, encourage artistic statement, and engage communities worldwide in the revelry of language. That is what we're trying to do. That is on your membership brochure, so that if you ever forget why you're getting a member, why we're propelling this community forward, it's right here. Also in the membership brochure, this kind of gets into what Mike is going to talk about, are all the benefits that you can list when you're participating in your membership slam. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mike Henry.
Okay.
First of all, any questions about the prizes or anything? We talked about that?
Yeah.
And the payback?
As the payback, so I just want to say that this was a really arduous, full of blood and sweat, putting this thing together, and Paula saw it through all the way to the end, so I want to...
Team while this goes on. Once again, this is in the SlamMasters self-interest to do this. This is a good, not only a good thing for us, but a good thing for you, and that's what we're trying to balance, all this stuff, so it isn't just giveaway. It's good for you, it's good for them. The only persons that get screwed are those audience members that don't get anything. No. Here's another thing. When I sell these things at the Slam, I've had people, I'm just asking for $15 memberships. They come up and give $50, and I say, wow, thanks. They said, Mark, I paid $5 for your show. It's the best $5 I pay for entertainment. We really have a great form of entertainment that audience members love, and it's really cheap, compared to those $30 shitty plays that they go through all the time.
And honestly, that really is what you're selling. We're giving these people the opportunity to give something back to the community, and there are great things in here in the levels, as you'll see in your brochures, about perks that they get for joining, better perks at the higher levels. But really, what the selling point is this is how you can give something back to this community that has been providing that show for you every week since 1994. It's involvement, it's connection. They feel good about that. People feel good when they can help you. If it's $15, it's you can get that easily. I would say also just look at what we've done here, and I'm really proud of us. I thank the MCs for your help, and that we've made these pitches made for membership during the performances, and brought that in to show, look, there's all these poets, they're doing this thing, but there is this larger community, and there's no structure for it, and it needs your help. You can use you can be a part of it. You can help us out, and this is how. You can use that in your show. You can use that, with the people in your venues who are loving the poetry and who are raising the roof are the ones that are going to open their wallet and write you a check for $15. We've got materials for you. We've got structure for you. This membership slam is great. You know, it's gonna be fun. It's perks for you. It's a good way to get, you know, as a slam master to get your, you know, certification paid, your trip paid to use slam.
Is that membership information that blurb on the site as well?
Yeah,
No, yes?
yeah, I think it is, mission statement is on the side.
Yeah, mission statement is, are you saying?
No, membership information.
The stuff that's in here,
Mhm.
it is in, not exactly in this form, you know, not as it's laid out here, but,
There are a lot of those brochures. All of you should pick up a pile. We're not bringing them back to Ann Arbor with us, so you will pick them up and you will take them with you.
matter of fact, what I'll do is, I'm gonna go and I need some for tonight and tomorrow, and the rest, we'll pull a box in here, take a pile with you as you go. The thing you need that accompanies it is a membership form. That is also, that's a PDF on the website.
Does somebody have to register at your venue for the venue to get credit?
Yes.
What if
Yes.
they pick
Yeah,
up a
your venue's name must
They
not.
don't
At your venue.
They don't, not at your venue, on the form, membership form, there's a place that says venue. And it's in your best interest to make sure they write Wicker Park on there, you send it in, and then that goes into your account. They can do it online.
And if you get some with blanks, you just wipe Wicker Park into it.
Vice right out. Kenny?
I brought this up informally with several people, and I just want to urge, there are at least some of us who have fundraising commitments to local organizations, as well as PSI, and I would like to urge PSI to create a policy for working with already existing local SLAM nonprofits in some kind of mode to share revenue and or to do joint membership drives, because for at least a few of us, and I don't know exactly how many, the main thing that stands in the way of participating fully in this is that.
That's what we are doing. That's exactly what was just laid out in front of you. That's what we're doing. You're getting 10% grant back.
No, I think you're,
Already
I think,
existing
Jenny, I think,
nonprofit.
good point, and I think that's on our partnership type of thing.
Okay.
But, finish it out. I think
Yeah,
it's
well,
just,
I basically made, I just want to urge the organization to take that seriously, because it isn't, I mean, speaking personally, it is not possible for me to do a membership drive for both organizations. And so the only way that a membership drive for the local organization I work on to benefit PSI is to have it by an existing agreement between the organizations.
and to say what Mike was gonna say, we bring it on. That's what we're already doing. We wanna do it. It's not a policy problem. We're there.
I just want to mention something that Ann Arbor implemented, maybe that's what Steve had handed about, and we're doing it in Kalamazoo. We offer our slam winners free membership. They can take their $10 or they can take their $15 membership, and, you know, the poets are the first ones to step up and say, you know, in front of the audience, give me the membership, and that.
This is an example of a great idea. You got your money coming in through the door. That, you know, that then you offer to the poet. Instead, that they're going to take the membership. You can take the door money, buy the membership, and you get money back in your account. I mean, it's the money
We can go this far. If a guy wins the second time or a woman wins the second time, you say, great, you can move up to an associate level if you want to. So we'll take them up to the $50 level if they can be interested.
Yeah, if just a member of our community does the associate level, does that mean they can also put stuff in the PSI store even though they're not?
Absolutely. That's the big perk. You know.
Plus, the higher the membership value, the higher the kickback coming to.
Greg, any other questions? Questions of what you're doing?
Is it the number of memberships you got or the dollar?
It's the number.
The SLAM thing is the number of memberships. We had a big discussion about this, the number, and, you know, maybe next year when we do it, maybe there's a better way. This year, we're not saying that's exactly the right way to do it, but we're just gonna do it.
But the money coming back to you and your grant back is based on the dollar figure that you're generating. You get $350 back on a $35 membership. You get $150 back on a $15 membership.
And $100 back on a $1,000 membership. And one other thing before I forget, from Crystal's thing, when we tally the memberships, if you don't have it blank, if it's blank, it will go in just the anonymous and not count for anybody's thing. So be sure to do that.
Please forgive me if my questions, I'm new with this. But if the venue buys like $1,000 membership, can we offer people who are joining locally, like access, or like the public's access to like something like to put their stuff into?
No.
That's individual.
So it gotta be individual.
Memberships aren't bought by venues.
We don't have a way to get organizations into membership yet.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
but yeah.
That's something I don't know.
I'll tell you. Very good thinking though. Wayne.
So this is, I think Dallas is trying to get off the ground, and in terms of promoting our own membership, because we are a nonprofit, we've tried to like up the membership amount, and then part of what they get in exchange for that membership is we funnel, or plan on funneling, a $15 membership to PSI. So it's just another way of trying to market, you get dual membership.
$25, you're a member of both.
Right.
And you're just providing it.
You have your own local membership.
Right.
Oh.
So we just up the rate a little bit, and in exchange for that, you get dual memberships, and then Dallas Slams will funnel the $15 membership to PSI.
Which you get about 50 back.
What do these members generically get? Not in terms of benefits, but do they get a newsletter? Is there some email broadcast that goes out?
It's all
Are they
there.
invited to the Christmas party?
Right.
And that
Different,
brochure.
different levels get different benefits.
Is there a broadcast email?
We don't have an email newsletter yet, but that's something
I've got
that we're
one.
talking about implementing.
Yeah.
Go get some brochures.
I'll do it.
And by the way, that's Henry Sampson, I told you about. Any more questions?
Will we be able to check and see how we're doing along the way?
Yeah.
On the website?
Yeah, I'll be able to keep that updated.
Hopefully we'll get, I want to get something on the website that shows
Yeah.
a chart graph or something.
One, in terms of the numbers, that's a different thing than the money. The money will be coming in and going out. For example, you'll give me enough memberships to generate a few bucks in your account. Come certification time, you don't have to write me a check, okay? It's going to come out of your grant back fund first. So the first 25 bucks will come out of your fund. So that fund's going to go up and down as you have need for what we're providing for you. But in terms of the total numbers, that's going to be somebody else's responsibility. Don't email me.
Maybe in the future, National Poetry Month, which is April, can be used as a benchmark collective effort. I know in Alaska, we try to use public radio, because you can have public service announcements on public radio. So when National Poetry Month comes up, prior to this moment, it's been pretty much local focused, but of course now I'll bring in PSI as well and try to use that month to make memberships happen.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea, yeah.
That's perfect too, because our membership
I wrote it
expire
down,
April
somebody
1.
else wrote it
Oh,
down.
great.
because I didn't find out. That's a great idea.
When is this one to start, like soon as you?
It's already started.
Okay.
Officially, it started in April. The memberships are from, did you tell them this?
I did not.
This drive is for this year. It started in April. It goes to the next, end of March, I guess.
Well, actually, anybody who renewed for this year, anybody who expires in April 2003 is going to count, because my numbers, I'm not accurate on like when they, like if you happen to renew before the old expiration date, you were a good person, and on top of things, we are not punishing you for being on top of things.
It's, put in your mind that it's your memberships, this year's membership, which our year runs from April to April.
Is there some kind of notification for members that their membership is due for renewal?
There will be.
There will be. There hasn't been in the past,
No.
but it's a passive thing, you'll make it out.
Here's what we know for sure, that in November, you will receive a renewal for certification that you've never received before either. If I get positive response from this group, then we're thinking about doing the same thing for membership.
And I can tell you another thing, that part of our plan for our drive is to send out those come on, be a member and pay more.
Of course, because once when this comes open to the public, we can't track that.
Right, I understand. And then, so the answer to your question is the intent.
We'll be sending out letters like if you, like public radio does, you sign up once, you get letters for the rest of your life.
Me and my slam, between every COVID, I have to say, this is a fundraising announcement.
Yeah.
Call in your pledges.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But only in a month, baby.
Always wanted to do it. Always wanted to do it.
Down people's pieces and in peace. You want to hear the rest of this?
Is there the possibility of people signing up membership for a couple of years at a time, or is that just too much?
Absolutely.
No, well, yes, you can, but no, it can't count toward the membership drought. I'll tell you why. We figured out that if Austin and Dallas were coming down to the wire for the championship, it's March 27th, and Austin knows that if they just sign up for, if Mike Henry just signs up for 10 more years, they'll win, then we got a problem. So, sure, you want to sign up for 10 years, great, but can't count toward this membership.
But you know what you can do? Instead of giving that $15 membership, you can get the $1,000 membership.
Yeah, because the money breaks the tie. If there's
Right, money breaks the tie.
Okay.
That's the way it always
I don't mean to add the wine in it, but that's a great example of Austin and Dallas. How about little places?
No doubt.
I'm going to sit next to this guy.
Do we get an electronic?
This guy's on my side!
We got smaller venues.
Yes,
This is why I said in the beginning that we know that it may be imperfect, but we made this decision about just the amount of people to see how it works. They'll be the next year. We know that that's a concern, but we couldn't figure it out.
One thing we came up with was the fact that even like in the larger places, like Dallas and that, you look at Texas has 6 slams. New York City has multiple slams, so it seemed to us that the numbers, we'll give it a shot this year and see how well it goes. Because generally the bigger markets, California's got 35 slams, whatever they have, the larger markets are splitting themselves already. And it seems fair that, because if you go by money, it's the same, you're small.
We're not saying it
Right,
right.
close proximity to New York, I mean, New York, Bar 13, Urbana.
That's why I push, that's why we push.
Bean or
That's why we push for the 10% kickback, give back, because then you get everyone gets something.
We fully admit it may be not the right thing, but we gotta get it up. The rocket has to go up, land on the moon, Think of those early astronauts. They put them in a little can. There probably is a better way.
And then too, when in discussing this whole issue, and we literally beat this up on a weekly basis since up until yesterday, we had planned to have 2 sets of prizes, one for number of memberships, one for dollar amounts. The problem is percentage. But the problem is, the main problem was we didn't have enough money for all the prizes.
If we had more memberships, we could have afforded it.
I'm glad you guys are asking the questions, but I'm gonna have to cut it off soon.
Okay, my question is, what if we're running 2 venues, like it's one group, but we have like a weekly and a monthly? Does it count as one group, or does it?
Certified or registered venue.
Yeah, it depends on
Are they both certified?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but what I'm wondering is, will I be splitting it up against my people? If we have 2 separate things, is that gonna?
Call it the
same thing.
There is.
But it's at different
in the
venues.
slam community, there are certain. What is the example? New York State has several different places they perform slams at, but it's under Slam Tractor, and they move from place to place during the month. So.
Okay, so it would be one considered a unit. Okay.
Thanks so much. Another round of applause to Paula. Vadim, are you here, Vadim?
Yeah.
Vadim and I talked about the newsletter, and real brief, Vadim, tell them what's going to happen and what we are.
Okay. So at SlamMasters, we discussed having a newsletter actually coming to fruition on a project that people have been thinking and talking about for years. The good thing is that we're all hyped, we're thinking about it, we're putting it together, it is going to happen. The bad thing is we don't have content, we don't have an editor, we don't have a means of supplying enough information to put on paper and send out to people. So that's kind of what we're in the process of doing right now. We have a few candidates. If anybody else wants to volunteer to be an editor-in-chief of this project, please talk to me or Marc, and we'll talk to you more about the newsletter and other things. Some specifics on the newsletter. The content is going to be, this newsletter is going to be primarily a business-focused newsletter. It's going to be like any newsletter that you get from any nonprofit or any organization that you're a part of. It's going to include a message probably from the EC, another one probably from Marc. I'd like to include something that says some messaging about nationals, especially the upcoming nationals and nationals, or a recap of the past nationals. Some kind of inspirational or motivational article that talks about something that's going on that's really good that everybody needs to know about. And a focus on some poet or some slam master, just so we kind of get some kind of personality in this piece of paper. The document itself is going to be a mailer, and the book's going to live online, either in PDF or just straight online format. It's more than likely going to include membership information. That information can either be just a paragraph that leads you to the website, or it can be a tear-off. That we haven't decided yet, and that'll be worked out with the editor and what other staff we have. And if you guys have any comments about the newsletter, please talk to me about it, talk to Marc, and we'll try to add things in and expand the newsletter. Also, another thing, a Slam magazine that some people were already talking about. There actually are a few Slam magazines that are alive right now, though they're not really in magazine form. I know of two that may happen in the Bay Area. One that I'm talking with Marty about, Marty Cruz from Seattle. One that somebody in Berkeley or Oakland might be doing, which may or may not happen, and those will hopefully approach PSI for some kind of endorsement at some point. There's also stuff online that I know people do on a personal level. Also about.com or Mining Company, as some of you may know about it. They do poetry reports from the field as well, because it's not the traditional glossy slip magazine that a lot of you are probably looking for. Hopefully this will happen, and hopefully it will be a PSI, or it will involve PSI, and it will be on a more exciting personality-based level. But we will, once again, need your support for this. So, Charles?
One thing that I always thought, we were talking about the website and the possibilities for the website. People sort of haphazardly post the newsletters that they already do as email bulletins, like I do the update. It would be marvelous to be able, just as we click on the state and find the venue actual maps, it'd be neat if we could upload the newsletters we are already doing, rather than haphazardly on the listserv and have to deal with all the crap that goes on there that we don't want to read. If there was a site, we could say, well, what's going on in Montana? Click on Montana and it'll show what bulletins and newsletters exist. That would be really marvelous. I think it'd be great to have some way to link to the newsletters that already exist, or if we could upload that somehow.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll investigate that. I have no clue as well.
I have a question about that. I mentioned SlamMasters about the idea of using weblogs as a way of doing something similar to what Charles talked about. Has anyone on the EC and with the website or the newsletter crews, have they talked about that possibility? Weblogs are getting incredibly easy to implement.
So once again, this is a great idea, you know, and old guys like me don't even know anything about this. Could you, like a summary, so we know, and then we can start investigating how to make it happen.
I'll contact Dirty, and I'll contact you, Tom. And we'll see if we can make that happen, so that members can post their newsletters for their slam to a link site. PSI.
Right. And then just whatever you're talking about him, get it to us so we can be like the control to make it happen.
I missed the target date for the newsletter tomorrow.
Our first target date for the newsletter to come out, we're going to take a month off.
Yeah.
Probably winter.
Winter.
This year winter.
which you know in Milwaukee goes till June. So it doesn't say anything to me.
Winter.
Gives us a
November,
broad.
December. November,
Got it.
December.
Okay.
These two Great. Okay?
Yeah, I want to make a suggestion to people who are thinking about magazines, but every one of you lives in a city that has a little literary journal, because every city has a little literary journal somewhere. And there's an Oakland-based literary journal called Watchword, which I am editing a Slam issue at the end of this year. And one of the ways to jumpstart this magazine process is to get in with whoever's doing your local literary journal and get yourself as the editor of a special issue on Slam.
Okay, not to be a tyrant, thank you, Kenny, but we got it on, that's something on that issue, the agenda for April. And I think it's a great idea. I think what Kenny said is great too, but we're pushing ahead because we got a lot to do here. Round of applause for Vadim. Great. I'm going to skip things out a little bit. The showcase people who didn't pick up this from the venue master, there's the stuff, how the Midwest Slam League works. Go get it.
I've got 2 openings for MCs for the showcase.
I have your pairings too. I was going to post them on the board downstairs afterwards, but if you want to see me at the end of the meeting, I can show you.
Okay, the anthology. Scott?
I'm not gonna lie to you, we're still hammering out a couple of little itty-bitty contractual things on this in terms of printing and that sort of thing, but overall, really quick, PSI is doing its first annual anthology. What this anthology contains or what it will contain, are poems that were performed at that year's Nationals, and maybe some audio content as well. We're working that out. We are accepting submissions as soon as NATS is over from any poet who participated. That's a side event, a day event, a night event, a showcase, or competition. You can send up to 2. We are asking, because catches people on people's computers like the viruses and the formats and the whole body of email thing, we are asking that you snail mail most of that stuff. Well, actually, we're asking that you snail mail it. Put it in your mailbox, send it to the PSI office. You will be, at the Slam family meeting, we'll be passing out a little half-sheeter just to tell you all about it. I think the deadline is September 5th. At that point, all that material goes to a 3-person editor board, Deb Marsh, me, and Patricia Smith. We try to spread it out, and we try to diversify it. And we're going to spend about 3 weeks going over all that stuff, give or take. Once we kind of come down to a decision on what's going in, because clearly everything can't, we're going to submit all that stuff to what we think the book should be to Steve Marsh, because his press is doing it. And pretty much it should be out before Christmas. So that's about it in a nutshell. Please fire away.
Are they anonymous submissions or not?
No, we're hopefully asking people to put their names on.
I mean, but that's taken into consideration as
She's
you
talking about
choose
blind
them.
submissions.
Blind submissions, yeah.
Well, this isn't a contest.
Yes.
Right.
This is to determine, the 3 editors are like any editors, are going to determine by a criteria what goes in there. And the criteria probably will include,
Who you are.
best writing, a variety to show the world the variety of work. But it'd be like when you send your submission to any little magazine. It's not a contest.
Not to be a jerk, but who's going to type up all of the poems if you're getting hard copies of them?
I think that probably if they were selected, you could,
You can ask them for
yeah.
Salinger.
Thanks, man. To be to have the option of submitting stuff, do you have to be a competitor?
No.
Or just a performer at NPS?
You gotta be a member of
It's
PSI.
gotta be performed here, that's
It's
all.
gotta be performed here.
Just at that year's nationals,
Yes.
even if it's on an open mic stage,
That's
or
right.
what about in front of the hotel?
Head-to-head high
Or
No site
At an
level,
event.
no.
official events, okay.
So room 1309 at 4 in the morning doesn't count.
Damn, that's some good stuff.
It counts for something.
Scott will be reiterating this at the Slam family meeting, again.
I got it.
Great.
She's holding it down.
Give Scott a round of applause. Speed through this partnership, part. Brave New Voices is the Youth Speak National, everybody thinks it's the Youth Speak people, but it's really a coalition of many different groups that include Youth Speaks, Chicago Young Authors, and a bunch of other ones. Brave New Voices is the Youth National Slam people. I will be meeting with them this afternoon to somehow, part of them wants to be brought under the PSI umbrella so we can help them start their own nonprofit organization. In the initial stuff, they'll be under our thing. Yeah, you'll eventually be brought a proposal, whether to do that or not, something like that. I was supposed to meet with them yesterday. I don't have the details. So that's one of our partnerships. Source Books is a book that is being edited by E&M Press. Well, the editor of E&M Press. It's the next in a series of that Poetry Speaks book. Those of you who were at SlamMasters in April, those are people who were recording things. The book is coming out next March. It's got according to them, it's got a tremendous marketing push. They want to link up with us because the next book is called Spoken Word Revolution. It's going to be very heavy on the slam because we got an inside track on it. They want to link up for next year's National Slam. And we're going to form, the EC is going to act and going to form a partnership with them so that we can ride the back of their publicity on that. Another partnership, I just put it down as what Kenny said before, link up with people for membership drives, it's a great idea. And Asim and I talked about something, maybe very briefly tell them that thing that you do and what you are.
I'm the executive director of the Armistead Arts Collective, which is a partnership with Armistead America, which is which is a reconstruction of the ship which held the mutiny of slaves. The ship, the big issue of the ship is that was the first human rights trial in America, maybe the world. But that ship next year, well, actually is leaving out as of September, is going to be touring Midwestern America. So it's going around Florida, up through Louisiana, Texas, coming in through the Missouri River, and then connecting with the Mississippi, the last stop, Chicago, where the Captain Bill Pickney was embarked. What I'm trying to do is connect with the different venues in that path, trying to do something with everywhere the ship stops. Maybe we can incorporate, I don't know, you guys can do a slam or whatever, showcase, whatever. It will help raise awareness for bringing both attention to PSI, which I think will be a great membership drive for us, because you're going to get into that more, crowd that think poetry is just read out of a book, but wants something different, which you'll find in Connecticut, and also brings attention to the Armistead, and I think it's a joiner picture, because the main thing is that we are not black and white, we are humans, and we can incorporate that message.
And Chicago self-interest is that they're supposed to end up in the summer in Chicago, and we think it'd be cool for publicity and all that kind of stuff. Great idea.
Do you have an email that we can get more information from?
Yes. You can, Olmsted America has an email site that gives you all the information you want to know about Olmsted America, and it's olmstedamerica.org.
And anybody who's interested, has seen that.
Right, and I'll give you our email site, which is going up. Our website, which is being constructed as of now, should be up and running in 3 weeks.
If you want, you can just tell me to.
Those are just for the partnerships that I wanted to mention today. There are others, but those are the ones. Any questions? Great. But I don't like questions. Time is ticking. Mike Henry.
All right, make this quick. Report on development. I'm your development director. BC has hired me to be your development director. As right now, as I'll point out on your budget, it's not officially paid any money yet, but that's my job, is to find the money for it to pay. We'll start with the budget. If you look at the budget, the whole first page, that's expenses. The second page, also still expenses. Then you have very small, sad little 2-inch space for income to fight off all those expenses. For the first time, PSI has put together and approved a development plan. You're going to get a copy of that mailed out to the SlamMasters listserv. And we've set some goals, actual goals, as to how we're going to raise the money, in what categories, in what manners to feed this organization. Development basically works in 3 major categories. There's grant writing, there's corporate sponsorship, and there's individual giving. We've got the ball rolling in all those directions, so the most important first steps are being taken. Redesign of our materials, which is important for marketing, for corporate sponsorship kits, for support materials for granting. Getting together that package of material that sells the organization. A granting calendar, which Paula and I are working on. So there are things in motion. Grants have been submitted. We'll hear about the NEA grant announces in November that we submitted a grant on behalf of the efforts for next year's nationals for $35,000. There's a lot. As anyone knows who's an arts organizer, there is that money out there. It's just there's a process and there's hoops to jump through to get it. The things I need from y'all, 2 things. One, I need people who are willing to work with us on this. You are arts organizers, you know how to do this. Anyone who is interested in helping, who has experience with fundraising, grant writing, or is just interested in learning, talk to me. The other thing I need is research. I need leads. I need the names of foundations that you've come across that might not be the perfect fit for your local organization, but that are the perfect fit for us. This is an amazingly, eminently fundable organization. It's just a matter of finding all the doors to knock on. Corporate leads, which Kenny's going to talk about. That, we decide on a kind of direction to go with that. Places that you feel like are natural matches for us. We're going to be asking you for leads in terms of individual givers, people from your community who you feel like, and these are going to be those kind of high dollar people who you would be willing to work with us on and making an ask towards giving a donation to PSI. So a lot of this is information. It's like a lore of information. There's all these little arts organizations out here clawing for money, and then over here there's all this money, and it's just a matter of finding the channel to get it together. Those are the that's what we need, is manpower and information to make this happen. So if you're interested, talk to me. If you're not interested, talk to me, and we'll get this going on.
Great, give Mike a round of applause, please. We're going to go to Gabrielle, and she's going to tell you what's happening with the video briefly. Then we're going to jump to some tournament things, and then we'll get back on track with Kenny and his report about that. But let's get Gabrielle done so she can go do her work. Go.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Gabrielle, Seattle, Washington. I survived bad experience and I'm back again. The EC was kind enough, and I do mean kind enough, to actually come up with the money to bring we were gonna bring 4, but to have 3 shooters come in and actually be officially, for the first time in PSI history, we're owning our own footage this year. This is a PSI product. It was very last minute, so, we've all been kind of scrambling, and with only 3 to 4 shooters, we're not able to get every single event the way we'd like to. We're hoping, obviously, that will change next year. But we're doing great, we're having a lot of fun. The shooters are working at least 10, 12-hour days. I was out at 3:30 in the morning on the sidewalk. And we've got some log sheets that are making life a lot easier, so when you guys say, hey, I want everything that the Shane has ever done, ever, then we know where to find it. So it's working. It's really great. Just wanted to let you know there's no solid concept with what is going to happen with this footage. The main idea was to get it in the can so we have it. We have heard from several of the individuals at Bouts that people are interested in getting their footage. The more we hear about this, the more you guys are interested in actually spending a dime on this, the more money PSI makes, the more of this we're going to have. Because, it's no point, aside from historical and archival purposes, there's no point in doing it if it's not getting distributed. So the idea is we want, if you have ideas for product that you want, say, I want to see a CD that's all California.